My name is Chris Skinner, and welcome to Reasons to Be Happy. We're out here in the beautiful wilderness of Lost Creek in Austin, Texas. And we're focusing this episode on our families and why our families give us happiness.
Okay, my dear friends, tonight apparently we are talking about family. And as part of our reasons to be happy. So, to start out, first and foremost, my happiest day has to be my wedding. I married my wonderful husband, and I also gained an entirely new family. I had my sister by choice, not by blood, Lori, who has been there for me for 15 years, and some of my best memories with her are random trips to snap a picture, grab some food. Sorry about the time I almost stabbed you with my fork over my bacon, Lori. My bad. I also had my aunt, my grandmother, and my dad there. They've been a major part of my happiness through the good and the bad. And I can't really thank them enough for everything that they have done. My aunt actually helped me get my first vehicle in my name. Yay. Which is something that I didn't think was going to happen for a long time. My dad was there to walk me down the aisle to begin my new life with my husband. And my grandmother, well, I could probably write a book on her, and the video would probably take about 3 hours to talk about all that. But besides that, my other favorite memory as far as family goes is with my mother. She taught me how to sing, and that's some of my favorite times with her. So on to the next part. If I have children, or if I'm considering children, which I am married, what does it mean to have your own family? And what are some of your goals as a parent or a spouse? I want to be a good wife. I want to make sure that my husband is always happy and proud to be with me. We've talked a lot about children, and we want to have them in our own time so that we can give them the love and support they will need, but to also be able to provide for them comfortably. It's like I've said, I would rather have $300 left at the end of the month before we have a kid, as opposed to $30. But we're getting around to it. As with any parent or potential parent, we want to give more to our children than we had, which isn't to say that we weren't provided for, because we were, but, that's just a typical thing. And my own goals based on my memories or personal experiences for my own family. Well, I want to be able to raise my kids with the happiness and comfort that I was given by my family and my friends. I want to make sure that my children always feel safe and secure, and I hope that my child and or children find the kind of friendship that I've had with Lori, somebody that can put up with them for 15 years and will stay around even after you stab them with a fork over bacon. I also hope that my child finds someone like I found in Chris, someone who is loving and honest, devoted, caring, and maybe a little bit crazy, but only in the good way. And then I hope that when we grow old and get to spend time with our children and our grandchildren, we can give them the same love and devotion that only a grandparent can, and then send them home to their parents on a sugar high. So that's my goals, the reasons for my happiness, mainly my family, my friends, and my husband. He's around here somewhere.
What's your great-grandmama's name?
Rose Wald.
Okay, cool. You got any memories you want to share about her?
One time, we were trying to teach her about Germex. She's German. She talks in German. She's really just old-fashioned. And we showed her Germex, and she said, "No, this no good. This no bubble." And we were trying to explain to her that you don't wash it off. You just rub it in. And it was so funny. And then another time, we were roughhousing, me and my brother, and we broke off an ear of one of her bunnies. She had a huge room just full of glass stuff, which wasn't really good for children, but it was for, she was an old person, so let's just say she had, like, bunnies and, like, just, pictures of, like, mirrors and grandkids and just full room of glass items. So we broke an ear off of one, and she got mad at us in German, so we did not understand her. And she was just so funny because she was going around and I think she asked a question and we were supposed to respond, but we didn't know what she said. So she just looked at us and we kept staring. And then she said, okay, it's all right, go. So we went off into the basement, because she has a basement, that's where we stayed. And she had like few channels. She had like the Price is Right, the Weather Channel, just those kind of channels. So we had a DVD player and a VHR player. So the only movies down there was the Forrest Gump, The Wiggles, I think Barney. So there wasn't that many movies. So we'd always go out and buy them, and we could only watch them upstairs because we didn't have a DVD player downstairs, and she wouldn't let us bring it down there. So we were trying to watch a movie, and I forgot which movie it was, but like I think it was The Help, and we were watching The Help. And this was the time when my grandma was sick. So she had pancreatic cancer. So she was getting sicker. And we were watching, no, it was The Birds. We were watching The Birds. And I was screaming because it wasn't in black and white, but like the bird flew at the screen and showed the eyes picked out. And my grandma just stared there. And I was like, she is older than me, and she just stared there at that bird while I jumped up and knocked over something. Fun. She was the best person ever. I found her. She used to pickle pickles. She used to just make the best. She had pickled watermelon, which didn't taste good, but to her it did. She had cow brains. She would, what you wouldn't think it was. She would cook everything. She'd have sausage, mac and cheese. She had German potato salad, which isn't like Southern potato salad. I don't get why it's different, but it just is. She would cook all this amazing food. And after she died, I was trying to find her recipe for pickles and her potatoes and just everything. And I found her recipe, and I'm trying to find homegrown cucumbers to pickle because we're running out of it. She would make tons of them every year, just tons and tons. We all loved her pickles. We would eat tons of them. And she was the best person. And at her funeral, the year before, her husband had died, and it was cold, below zero, and it snowed, and like they're Catholic, so they threw holy water on the casket, and it would freeze before it hit the casket and just pinged off. And so the next year, and when she died, right before the funeral, it just all of a sudden snowed. It just dropped. It was like really warm. Not warm, but like just warmer than usual. And then all of a sudden just dropped and snow fell. And one of my grandmothers had said, Rose would have laughed at this. She would have said, it snowed at Martin's funeral. It's better snow at mine. And that just stuck with me because that I could see her saying that. She would laugh and just carry on.
Today I want to talk about my three main parts to my family. The first is my mom, who is my most important person. The second thing is a group. It's my dogs. There are 5 of them. And then the third thing that I consider my family are all of my friends. And the first memory I want to share is the memory of my mom. I was at home. She was in her bedroom doing something. I heard her just messing around in there. And I was trying to go to sleep on the couch, and I fell asleep, and something woke me up going, Jerry! And I opened my eyes, and I listened around, and I didn't hear it again, so I thought I must have just made that up. I just must have imagined it. So I fell back asleep, and a few minutes later, it woke me up again going, Jerry! And I just assumed, I was hearing things, so I fell back asleep. And it happened a third time, and I got up and ran in my mom's bedroom where she was at, and all I saw was a pair of legs sticking out from behind her bed, and they were just kicking. And what had happened is she had got stuck trying to get something from behind her bed mattress. Um, that memory always makes me smile with my mom because it's just funny. She was okay, FYI. Um, my second memory is of my dogs, and that's when I took them in. I took in one, and that was what I had signed up for, was taking in this one stray dog. And it was a mama dog, and I didn't know that, and she was pregnant. And 2 months after I took her in, since she was so malnourished when I rescued her, I didn't know that she was pregnant. But sure enough, she started getting fat, and 2 months later, 4 puppies popped out. So now I have 5 dogs. And every day with them just makes me smile because they're my babies. And the third memory I want to share is a very short one. I was with one of my friends, Janella, and she's my best friend. And we were in Memphis looking for a huddle house. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had no idea, because I don't know geography that well, that West Memphis was in Arkansas. So I pulled up my GPS and just typed in huddle house and clicked on West Memphis. And we went looking for this huddle house, and we went across a bridge. And the bridge said, "You're now entering Arkansas," and we got really confused. And we ended up on this straightaway. Everything was closed. There were no lights on. And here we are at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in Arkansas, trying to find a huddle house that it turned out didn't exist. Our GPS led us to somebody's house, and we just turned it off, and we're like, we're going back to Memphis. So we never found a huddle house, but it's just a funny little memory I like to share. It makes me smile. So, yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Erin, and I'm new to this project, if you didn't already know that. You might know my sister Courtney. She was in a previous video. As you might already know, the theme for this video is family. Family has always been such an incredible part of my life, and they've always been there for me and supported me, and they just love me unconditionally just as I love them unconditionally. And my family is by far one of the most important things in my life. I feel like I have a very special and unique relationship with my parents. I'm really close to both my mom and my dad, and when I was in high school, I spent a lot of time with them, and so I think we really grew and became closer, and I think we developed a really special bond. And it was pretty hard for me whenever I had to leave for college because I know I wouldn't get to see them as often. And it took some adjusting, and I still get homesick and I still miss them quite a bit. But I do call them pretty much every night, which I know is probably really weird and unusual for a person my age. But it's just become part of my routine, and I just like to know what's going on in their lives, and I like to keep them updated on what's going on with mine. And even if I don't really have anything new to tell them, it's just one of my favorite parts of the day. And I just feel so incredibly lucky that they're my parents. They love me and cared for me my entire life, and I've never felt like I didn't matter to them. They make me feel loved and special, and that's just really important. Even though we have had our disagreements in the past and our disagreements in the future, I wouldn't change our relationship at all. It's really great.
Some of my fondest memories are with my family. Usually it's just when we are relaxing and spending time together. My dad will be watching TV, my mom will be reading a book or something for work. My sister will be playing on her phone or her laptop, and I'll be doing one of the three. And occasionally we'll look up and something will be funny. Someone will say something that's really funny. And the united laughter is funny. Especially when it's my dad and my sister ganging up on my mom. Those are some of my favorite memories.
Moving on to my lovely sister. Let's just say my relationship with Courtney has definitely evolved over the years. When we were little, we pretty much hated each other. Yeah, we did not get along at all. We fought pretty much all the time about anything and everything, especially what we watched on TV and whatnot. But I, being the youngest, was considered a brat, as my sister so eloquently puts it, and she liked to hit me with sticks. Yeah, but she did end up getting in trouble for that, so whatever. And while I don't admit that I deserve to be hit with sticks, she will swear that I did, so take that as you will. And a lot of people, including my mom, thought we were going to hate each other forever, and if you had asked me when I was younger, I probably would have agreed with them. But thankfully, we have grown and matured, and we've really become a lot closer. She's probably one of my best friends, and she's always there for me, and she supports me, and I can just vent to her or talk to her about whatever. And, she's become such an incredible person, and I'm super proud of her, and I'm just so glad she's my sister. I wouldn't change our relationship at all. Fun fact, we can have entire conversations consisting of mainly movie and TV show quotes. Not even on purpose, it just kind of happens. You could say we're kind of geeky, which may be somewhat of an understatement, but we have fun. Anyway, the rest of my family is also really important to me. My grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles, they're all very special to me. They're so much fun, and I love family gatherings, and I always look forward to seeing them. And unfortunately, I don't get to see them as often as I used to, or as often as I'd like to. A lot of us younger people are going off to college, and there's work and a variety of other things that get in the way. Life happens, but I do definitely cherish the special moments we have together, and I always look forward to making more. I just love my family so much, and I'm so blessed to have them in my life, and I honestly don't know what I'd do without them, so yeah, that's all I have. Bye!
And another one of my favorite memories is a little more recent. In January, my girlfriend Lexi and I were coming back from her family's place in upstate New York, and we had a layover. Well, not really a layover. We had all of our flights were delayed and canceled and delayed and canceled, and we'd been at the airport since I think 8 a.m. and we finally got to New York City, and they kept delaying our flight, and finally it was, 7 o'clock, and our flight had been delayed again, so we weren't going to be able to take off until almost 10. And after that, it was a 3-hour flight back to Missouri, and then another 2-hour drive home. So rather than stay in the airport and take the long flight home, we decided, I begged Lexi to get a hotel room, and we did. And I begged her to take me into Times Square, and she did. And seeing that place and getting to experience it with the love of my life, that is one of my favorite memories. Another of my favorite memories takes place in my freshman year of college. My best friend Katie and I were roommates, and we were 18 years old, first time on our own. It was one of the first Saturdays. We stayed up until 7 in the morning. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea, but a few of our friends and I, we just stayed up watching movies And then at like 2 in the morning, we went and got donuts. And so after that, of course, we weren't going to be going to bed anytime soon. And then we looked outside and the sun was coming up, and we finally went to bed around 7. We woke up at 4 swearing we were never going to do that again. And we didn't stay up till 7, but we stayed up pretty late. Some goals for me in the future: stay in contact with family more. Up until actually very recently, I felt very disconnected with my family. I was distancing myself from them, whether I needed to or not, I don't know. For a lot of reasons. I started distancing myself, and I regret that. I wish I had gone home more. But I'm going home more now, and I hope to always stay more in touch with my family. I'm going to try to do better to respond to people's messages when they message me asking for something or just wanting to talk. I've been bad about that recently, and realizing that I need to keep in touch with my loved ones more and my friends. That's really hit me hard recently, and I'm hoping to stop doing that. I'm hoping to stop procrastinating, because the ones I care about are more important. And I always hope to support my loved ones in anything they're going through.
One of the things I like about my family is I have two very different sides of the family. I have one side of my family is very big. There's a lot of people. They do reunions. They have Christmas together. They constantly see each other and hang out and work together. And it's a big family. On the other side of my family, it's very nuclear. It's independent. Most of everyone on that side of the family is very intellectual, and they got separated over time just because of their intellectual pursuits. So they don't depend upon each other as much. So the cool thing is that my brother and I, sort of looking at both sides of these families, sort of came up with our own, how we thought we would interact with each other as adults. And it's very special that we are still friends, and that we hang out, and all I have to do is walk across the parking lot to go see my extended family. Camera rolling.
Reasons to be happy. Episode 2. Take 3.
Hey, Liam. Liam. What do you like to do with your family? Do you like to go swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you like to watch movies? Las Vegas. Well, why don't you tell me a story about your friends? Do you have really close friends?
Yes. Very, very close friends. I tell them all my secrets, even some of the really creepy ones.
Okay. And then do you like to share secrets with them, and
yes,
do they keep your secrets?
I trust them, and they keep my secrets.
That's cool.
All the time.
And then they tell you secrets back?
Yes.
Okay.
They tell my secrets back. And we just trade off, We always take turns.
Cool. So everything's balanced.
Yes.
And do you feel really kind of like their family? I don't know, they're not family, but they're special in your life.
I describe them special in my life, near family, but not even close to blood related.
Okay. I didn't know that I wanted children until my brother did have children. And just holding them and loving them and them loving you back, is really important. And I sort of recognized that at an earlier age, but I was busy doing theater. So being able to see that later in life, it's sort of a tragedy because now I don't have children physically. And what am I going to do with the rest of my life? A lot of people I know have pets, which is fantastic. But I'm allergic to pets. Not like I want children just because I can't have pets. There is a real need to have someone in your life that you connect to, that you love, but not in the adult type of love. You want to nurture and take care of these beings, these people in your life. So I've chosen, with mutual agreement, to foster, in a way, a young woman. And it takes time, and it isn't a full-time job for me because she's off at college, but it's an important thing that we both have family, and then we have something to do at holidays when it's particularly difficult for people when you're separated or you don't have someone you can connect to. So we call ourselves a family. She's my pseudo-daughter, and people just want me to say daughter, but in the technical sense, I can't really say she's my daughter. And biologically, she's not my daughter either. So it's a tricky subject, but we do have amazing times, and it's always good to see her and hang out with her. And that's when we went to go skydiving, and you have shared memories together, and I think that's kind of what bonds people together and makes them happier, is having people that you can relate to and being able to understand each other.